Welcome to Annamalai University, Directorate of Distance Education. I am Dr. R. Gurumoorthy, Associate Professor and Coordinator, Sociology Wing, DDE, Annamalai University. Today, we can see about the research methods and statistics for MA Sociology students. Okay, what are the learning objectives? To know about the basis elements of scientific methods, to make the students to understand the techniques of social research, to help them to build up on the basic assumptions in adopting methodologies for different research themes. Then the course outcomes. Upon completion of this course, students will acquire knowledge about research methods and contribute their knowledge for research and development. And the students will understand the statistical tools and techniques for analysis of data and writing research report and equip the basic skills for social planning and reconstruction of society. So we can see now there are 5 units in research methods and statistics. One by one we can see. First unit is science. What is science? Science is concerned with knowledge and understanding of natural factors. Okay, what is a theory? Theory is a set of ideas. For example, you can take Isaac Newton. What he invented? Gravitation. How he invented the gravitation? When he is sitting under apple tree, one apple fall down. Suppose we may be sit there, means what will happen? We can eat and went. But at that time, Isaac Newton, he throw the apple. Again it fall down. Then only he understand there is some power in the earth. So theory is a set of ideas. Okay. Then what is hypothesis? Hypothesis is a tentative conclusion. Okay. Otherwise we can say hypothesis is a temporary conclusion. Otherwise simply we can say hypothesis is an assumption. So in science we have to prove 100%, but in social science it is not possible. We can't prove 100%. Okay. So that's why after selecting the problem we have to formulate hypothesis. Then at the end of the result we have to test the hypothesis whether it is proved or not. For example, I want to make a study about drug addiction among college students. Okay. For this I want to formulate one hypothesis. When we compare the hostel students and day scholars, the hostel students are more addicted than day scholars. Why? Because the hostel students are, there is no control, only warden. But the day scholars are controlled by parents. That's why there is some limitations in for day scholars. So there are a lot of chances for hostel students. Okay. So hypothesis is very important in scientific method. Okay. Then we can go for a scientific method. What is scientific method? According to Lundberg, we have to do the research in a systematic manner, controlled nature, critical investigation, okay, empirical nature. Empirical nature means reality is very, very important in scientific method. So in scientific method there are 2 basic elements of scientific method. One is procedural components, another one is personal components. In procedural components there are 5 classification. One is concept, variables, hypothesis, verification, measurement. In personal components, skills, analytical ability, persistence, resourcefulness and independent. Now we can see one by one. Procedural components, first we can take concept. What is a concept? Concept is the backbone of the research. Okay. After selecting the problem, the researcher has go through the secondary data. Then they have to gain familiarity with that particular problem, then only he has to start the research. So concept is the backbone of the research. Suppose for example I want to make a study in Sidambaram about female infanticide. Is it possible? Here there is no practice of female infanticide. That's why in Tamil Nadu some districts only they have practicing. Now Madurai, Theni, Namakkal, Salem, Dharmaburi. So these states, districts only they are doing the things. So without understanding the concept we should not start the research. That's why concept is the backbone of the research. Then variable. What is a variable? Variable is also a concept. There are two types of variable, independent variable and dependent variable. Why we are comparing variables in our research? Okay, for example, age, sex, income, marital status, religion, these all are the examples for variable. If A causes for B, which is independent variable, which is dependent variable? Because A is independent variable, B is dependent variable. That is why we are comparing variables. For example, you want to compare sex, male and female. Male opinion may be differ and female opinion may be differ. That is why variable is a very important in scientific method. Then hypothesis. We already discussed what is hypothesis. Hypothesis is a tentative conclusion. In science we have to prove 100%, but in social science it is not possible. That is why after selecting the problem we have to formulate the hypothesis. At the end of the result we have to test the hypothesis whether it is proved or not. Then next one, verification. Verification is very, very important. Verification is very, very important in scientific method. For example, you can take Ramar Pillai in Tamil Nadu. He invented herbal petroleum. Why the scientist rejected his formula? Because he could not able to prove it. That is why the scientist rejected. So the verification is very, very important in scientific method. Next one, measurement. The measurement is very, very important in scientific method. Measurement in science it is easy. We can take 100 ml water, then we can boil 100 degrees Celsius, means it will evaporate. Okay? But in social science, what we have to measure, how we have to measure? We have to measure the human attitude. It is not easy thing, it is very, very difficult. So the measurement is very, very important in scientific method. So these all are come under procedural components. Then we can see personal components. What are the personal components? As a researcher, what are the qualities you must have? Okay, skills, analytical ability, persistence, resourcefulness, independent. For example, you want to make a study about AIDS, HIV positive virus. So majority of the cases are because of the main causes for AIDS, HIV positive virus means the commercial sex workers. So your respondent may be commercial sex workers. Okay. So in every city, every village, everything you can see at the evening time after 6 o'clock near bus stand and railway station, you can see the commercial sex workers. So you want to collect the data with the commercial sex workers. How you will approach the commercial sex workers? You have ID card and everything, you need not afraid of any police and this and that. How will you approach? So half an hour you may be see the behaviors of the commercial sex workers. After only you may become an assumption he may be a commercial sex workers. Okay. Then how will you approach? You may be go near commercial sex workers. Okay. Can you ask whether you are a commercial sex worker? Suppose your assumption may be wrong, means what will happen? So that is lot of problems in data collection. So first you have to approach the brokers. Through brokers only you have to identify the commercial sex workers. So every day you can 5 or 6 you may be interview and you may be give awareness. That is why the person as a researcher, what are the qualities you must have? Skills, analytical ability, persistence, resourcefulness and independent. Okay, these are very, very important, the basic elements of scientific method. So these are the procedural components and personal components. Okay. Then next. So next we can discuss what is research design. Research design is simply we can say research design is a pre-plan. For example, like a civil engineer, before constructing the house, he will make a blueprint. Based on the blueprint only, he will start the construction. In the same way, we have to plan before starting our research, then we have to start our research. Then only we can plan everything and you may be finished the successfully your research. So there are 4 types of research design. One is exploratory or formulative, second one is explanatory or descriptive, third one is diagnostic research design and fourth one is experimental research design. One by one we can discuss. Exploratory research design. What is exploratory research design? Explore means what? To find out. To find out. So, this research design, in order to gain familiarity with a particular problem, the researcher may be adopt this research design. So, you can gain knowledge about this. So, in order to find out this type of thing, you can adopt exploratory research design. Then second one is explanatory or descriptive research design. This you have to describe, you have to analyze the problem and you have to describe the problem. That type of study you can go for descriptive research design. For example, AIDS awareness among college students. Otherwise, you can say the old age problem in a rural society. So, you have to analyze the problem and you have to describe the problem. That type of studies you can go for explanatory or descriptive research design. Then third one is diagnostic research design. How you have to diagnose the problem? For example, you can take a doctor. How he diagnoses a disease? Okay, I may be suffering from fever. I want to meet the doctor. First, what doctor will do? He will make a temperature. He will see the temperature and he may be pulse. Everything he will see. He may be common assumption. It may be ordinary fever. After 3 days, I am not cured. Then again I want to meet the doctor. Then what the doctor will do? Okay, we can go for a blood test. Maybe malaria or typhoid or any viral fever or any corona, anything may be happen. Okay. So, how a doctor diagnoses a disease, the same way how a social scientist, how we have to diagnose a problem. In not only study the problem, we try to find out the problem and also solve the problem. So, you have to find out which is cause and which is effect. Okay. So, that type of study we can go for diagnostic research design. Then fourth one is experimental research design. What is experimental research design? In science we can easily experiment the thing and we can find out the solution and thing. But in social science, how we have to experiment the phenomena? We have to adapt before and after research design. Okay, we want to evaluate that particular program. We want to know the feedback. That way we have to experiment the phenomena. That is called experimental research design. So, these all are come under unit 1. So, in unit 1, what are the possible questions for important questions? One question may be arise, define scientific method. What are the basic elements of scientific method? So, you have to define what is scientific method, then what are the basic elements of scientific method, you have to put the chart, then you have to explain one by one. That one question possible. Second question may be define research design. What are the types of research design? Illustrate with suitable examples. So, this way they will ask the questions. It is a first unit. Okay. Then we can go for second unit. Okay. Second unit, social research. What is social research? Social research is a long term research. Social research is a long term research. So, it is a method of studying, analyzing, conceptualizing social life in order to extend, modify, correct or verify knowledge, okay, whether that knowledge aids in construction of a theory or in practice of an art. Okay. But the social survey is a short term research. Social research is the social survey is a short term research. Social research is a long term research, is study about general problems in the university college level, the PhD scholars they are doing the social research. Okay, but social survey it is short term research, it may be, for example, you can take a census method. So, in social survey the particular time, the particular people, it is very very important in social survey. The census method means once in 10 years. Why once in 10 years? Yeah, once in 5 years we can take census. The reason is because of heavy expenses. That is why once in 10 years we are taking census. Then social survey, the journalists also using social survey. They want to know the opinion, public opinion at the time of election, before polling, after polling, they want to know the public opinion of the thing. That also they are using social survey. Then the marketing people. The marketing people also they are using social survey. They want to know which product is going number one. How we have to increase our product. That's why they are going for marketing survey. Then you can say All India Radio, once in 5 months, once in 6 months, they are taking social survey. Why? They want to know the feedback, which program is going number one, okay, any lacking, how we have to alter the program, that also they are doing social survey. Then government, non-government organization, they are also using social survey. In social survey, we have to find out the immediate solution for that particular problem. That's why we are adopting social survey. So these are the difference between social research and social survey. Then what are the methods in social research? What are the major steps in social research? First step is problem formulation. Okay. Second step is definition of concepts, okay. Then identifying variables, then definition of universe and selection of samples, then collection of data, then analysis and interpretation. These are the major steps in social research. Okay. Then what is case study? Case study means in-depth study. Case study means in-depth study. You can select any individual or any group or any village or any government or any family, okay. Anything you can go and select and you can go for in-depth study. Okay. These are the things in unit 2, it covers all the things. What are the questions here maybe come? Okay. First the question may be arise, define social research, what are the major steps in social research? Then they may be asked, what are the difference between social research and social survey? Suppose if they ask what are the difference between social research and social survey, means straight away you should not go and write the difference only. First you have to define what is social research, then you have to define what is social survey, then only you have to go for what are the difference between social research and social survey. That way you can follow, means you can score high marks. Okay. Then we can go for unit 3rd. Okay, data collection, okay, what are the census method, sampling, types of sampling design, okay, then observation method, all the things one by one we can see. Okay, what is census method? Census method means we have to cover the entire population of India, okay, that is called census method. Then what is sampling? What is sampling? First we can see what is sample. A portion selected from the universe or total population is called a sample. Then what is sampling? Selecting a portion representatively from the universe or total population is called sampling. Okay. Before adopting this sampling method, first we have to collect the secondary data. Suppose you want to make a study in a village, means the village population you have to first collect. It is in your hand. Suppose the village population may be 1000, but the list is in your hand 1, 2, 3 up to 1000. Then only we can go for this sampling technique. Okay. So there are two types of sampling method. One is probability sampling, another one is non-probability sampling. What is probability sampling? Each and every unit get equal chance in probability, but non-probability sampling it is totally different. Okay. So one by one we can see. First we can discuss the probability sampling. One is simple random sampling. What is simple random sampling? Each and every unit get equal chance in simple random sampling method. There are 3 subdivisions. One is lottery method. Suppose you want to make a study in a village, the total population may be 1000, means you have to prepare small seeds, 1000 seeds. Then you have to put in on a box. Then you have to mix. And you want to collect 100 samples, means out of 1000, 100 samples means 100 times you have to select. Then you have to keep it separate. Okay. Then that 100 samples you have to go and collect the data. That is called the lottery method. Second one is use of table of random numbers. This is already prepared by Tippett, the scientist name Tippett, already prepared by the use of table of random numbers, maybe 5-digit number. Okay. It is a very big table. Suppose you want to select 100 samples, means first 2 digits you have to select. What are the numbers it come, you have to put separate, then you have to go for that house. Okay. That is called use of table of random numbers. Suppose you want to select 500 samples, means you have to go for 3 digits. Okay. That way you have to select use of table of random numbers. Then computer method, everybody knows, we have to use the software SPSS, statistical package for social science, exclusively for social science. We need not do anything manual, we can put everything, means we can get all the statistical technique, mean, median, mode, correlation, regression, standard deviation, everything it will come, but it was somewhat expensive. So, these all 3 divisions come under probability sampling. Then systematic random sampling. What is systematic random sampling? For this systematic random sampling, we have to use one formula, capital N by small n, capital N by small n, capital N by small n. So, capital N denotes the total population. Okay, but suppose your village population may be 1000. Small n denotes number of samples, suppose 100. So, if I divide, means what will come? The class interval 10. Okay. So, the class interval 10. Okay. Suppose the list is in your hand, as a researcher, first suppose you want to take a 14 number, then you have to maintain the 10 class interval, next house 24, 34, 44. That way you have to go and collect the data. That is called a systematic random sampling. Okay. Then stratified random sampling. What is stratified? Strata means what? We already discussed what is a variable. So, stratified means you have to select the strata. If you can select education as a strata or religion as a strata, okay, like marital status as a strata, suppose education as a strata. How can you classify? UG, PG. Suppose you want to select a religion as a strata, Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, Jainists. Okay, that way based upon your research topic, you have to go for stratified random sampling. Okay. Then cluster or multi-stage sampling. What is cluster? Cluster means, suppose I want to make a study in a Chennai. If Chennai total population may be 1 crore, that is cluster. From that cluster, I want to select 500 samples. 500 samples. Then, the cluster 1 crore population is there. First, I want to identify how many wards in Chennai. 200 wards. Okay, out of 200 wards, I want to select 10 wards. Okay, 10 wards. Then each ward I want to select 50 respondents. Upon 10 wards into 50 respondents, the sample size may be 500. So, we are crossing lot of stages. That is why it is called multi-stage sampling. Cluster or multi-stage sampling. Okay, but I want to make a study in Chennai, means I can get down in Tambaram, I can collect 500 samples, means it will not represent the whole problems of the Chennai city. Okay, that is why we have to go for, you have to identify the total population of Chennai, then you have to identify how many wards, then out of 200 wards, how many wards you want to select, each ward how much you want to select, but 10 into 50 means 500 wards. So, that way you have to go for cluster or multi-stage sampling. These all are come under probability sampling. Then what is non-probability sampling? Okay, one is accidental sampling. The journalists, they are using this accidental sampling. He may be Chennai, he may be walking along Annamalai. Okay, he want to ask about one public issue. Okay, one public issue about, he may be without any plan, he may be met a doctor, he may be met a layman, or he may met a auto man, or a student, or a girl, Okay, without planning, whoever accidentally he meet, he will ask the opinion about that particular issue. That type of sampling is called accidental sampling. For quota sampling, as a researcher, he can give the quota and collect the data. Suppose I want to study about the class, but how can we classify high class, middle class, low class people? So, the out of 3, the middle class people may be, the percentage may be high. So, you can give more. Suppose high class 30 respondent, middle class 40, then low class 30, 100 samples. So, as a researcher, he can give the quota and collect the sample. Then next one is purposive sampling. What is purposive sampling? Okay, I want to make a study about bakers, where we have to identify the bakers in front of temples or near railway station or near any bus stand. Okay, we have to go and we have to collect the data. That type of study is called purposive sampling. Then another example, I want to make a study of impact of automation on industry. Impact of automation on industry. So, I have to identify which industry introduce automatic machine, I have to go and collect the data. So, my purpose is that. So, that type of study we can go for purposive sampling. Then next one is snowball sampling. What is snowball sampling? Suppose I want to make a study about Sri Lankan refugees in Madurai center. Okay. First I have to identify one camp, suppose in Madurai Kudal Nagar. Okay. First I have to identify, you can imagine it may be in Madurai center 5 camps may be. First you have to identify one camp, after entire population you have to collect the data, after that you have to ask whether any nearby your Sri Lankan refugees there, they will direct you, yes sir, the 1 kilometer, Annamalai there is one camp. So, one by one we have to identify, we have to collect the entire population of 6 camps. So, that type of study is called snowball sampling. So, it is very, very important. Okay. What is sampling? What are the types of sampling method? The question may be arise, define sampling, what are the types of sampling method, illustrate with suitable examples. That way the question will come, you have to put this chart, then you have to explain one by one. Okay. Okay. Then unit 4. In unit 4, the measuring of central tendency. Okay. For all statistical techniques, after theoretical things over means, then we have to test, we have to use the statistical techniques like mean, median, mode. This is basics for statistics. After that we have to go for mean deviation, standard deviation, regression, correlation. So, everything we have to go for statistical analysis and we have to find out the things. Then the diagram, representation of the diagrammatic thing, representation of the diagrammatic, even the illiterate people also through the diagrams they can easily understand what are the figures and what are the positive and negative things. That way we can also use a diagrammatic representation like bar diagram, pie diagram, histogram, line charts. Okay, that also everything thing. Okay. So, these are the things in research methods and statistics. It is a very important syllabus. Okay, it is backbone of all the papers. Every student he may be going for very thorough, and we have to study the research methods paper and statistical techniques, then only you can gain knowledge, and also future you may be at any employment means as a like a research investigator or coordinator or counselor, project officer. Okay, it will help you in your future. Okay. Thank you.